Hello, everybody. Welcome back to James and Flav for now. My name is James. This is Flav, and it's Friday morning.
Friday, then Saturday, Sunday,
and it's a jam-packed day for Allcott. Allcott's got this. I'm going to do a live Champions League reaction draw straight after, and then I've got ESPN, which you guys aren't invited to. But the first two
you have what a life!
Yeah.
What a life
I would have loved to have done this yesterday, Flav. Would have loved to have done this yesterday, and then I would have had a nice free run up to the Champions League stuff instead of cramming it in. But don't worry, I play golf anyway, so it's fine.
Okay.
We've got an hour. I feel like today's a reset pod, just to say. For those of you who don't know, we have little in jokes and bits and pieces like that, but sometimes we just need to fucking put it in a box. Do you know what I mean? So, because there's a lot that's happened this week, loads of football. West Ham.
Arsenal lost.
Arsenal crumbling away. Spurs.
We won.
Didn't you? You won.
Yeah, we're back.
QPR. We don't have a goalkeeper. So yeah, we're finished. So yeah, lots has happened. So we've got you guys in the live chat. If you're here and you're new, subscribe to the channel. Get involved. We're going to probably be reading any funny comments that come up, because it's organic like that. So just bloody get involved, will you? But all that said, what really happened at Cheltenham? I think that's the big question. Because I knew it. You actually, do you know how mature you are now? Do you know how mature you've become? It's wonderful, really. If you step back at it, is that you knew you weren't going to be able. Well, if you went. We were going to do it at 10 a.m. in the morning, like we normally do on a Thursday for the patrons. If you want to become a patron, links in the description right now, I think. £4, nothing really. And you went, yeah, I'm leaving Cheltenham soon. Should be fine for that. Okay. Now, but this is where the maturity kicked in. In the same afternoon, I think it was, you said, can we move it to Friday? Because you knew what was coming. You'd got a little bit giddy, I presume. Oh, let me guess. You'd gone out. You go, I haven't been out for a little while, and it's just down the road. Lovely.
Yeah.
Oh, look, the boys are here. Free booze. Happy days. Couple of bets. See if we've won. Not really the point, but not why I'm here. I'm here for the free booze.
It weren't the point. But after the two races, I was £400 up.
After two races.
Yeah.
Really?
So I didn't know what was going on, mate. I don't enjoy betting. I never really bet. But there's nothing else to do. You're in this box, and you're talking to the lads and that, and then there's racing on the telly. That is Cheltenham.
Yeah.
Like basically, what I did is I got a train to Cheltenham, and I went to Cheltenham to stand in a box and look at a TV.
Yeah, dress smartly.
And dress smartly, yeah.
Right,
so
it's a smart event.
But it was a lot. Yeah. So I was just following Elliot Hackney's bets, but I just did what he told me to. There was literally, apart from one thing I did myself, which was put an each way bet on and a winner in one race, and it came in. Nice. I felt like a god. But then after that, I was like, well, I'm sort of £400 up here. I don't really want to lose it all. So I just did £10 bets for the rest of the day. It's really boring. You know, but because I'm not interested in it. Although what I would say is when... Yeah.
Is that what you were about to say? Is that what
no.
I think the thing I've realised is when the fun stops.
Stop.
Yeah.
No, I do understand. I did get the rush.
Sure.
And you know, seasoned gamblers be looking at me going, "What the fuck are you? What do you know about the rush?"
You were born, son.
You ain't been to the rush. The second race where I put in, I basically won on the first race, and the second one I just put all on to winner for the next one, and that was it. And it came in, and it was running along. You're like, my heart was going.
Really?
Yeah,
as you had your back to the actual racing and watched it on the telly.
You couldn't see. So the box we was in, you couldn't actually see the track.
Really?
You could see the parade ring, I don't know, but who's interested in that?
You see him steaming afterwards.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's good. But it was good to have a drink with Rory and that. It was weird. I was in a room with, let's count them, Nicky Butt, and this wasn't a big room. This is a room about half the size of your front room.
Okay.
For one, what's that like?
It's pretty big.
12.
No. It's
Well,
two
not
rooms and a
when there's like
border.
60 people in there,
Yeah.
including Nicky Butt.
Nicky Butt. Did you see his wang?
I didn't see his wang, but he was. I had a conversation with him, and specifically, Rory won him a lot of money actually.
Rory won Nicky Butt.
A lot of money. Told him what to do, and Nicky Butt went with it. He just because he's first.
Sorry. Elliot made Nicky Butt some money then.
Because
Rory's not gone. No, hang on. Yeah, guys, could you just give me 2 minutes? I'm looking at the runners and riders here. I'm going to make my decision through research and data. He doesn't do that. He's not going to do that.
And obviously the more Rory had a drink, the more he insisted that him and I placed the exact same bet for every race that he chose.
Right.
And I had no problem with that.
He was more bothered about the amount or about the horse that he chose to go.
No, specifically the horse.
Right, you want to be in it together.
There was no.
Is that what he wanted?
Yeah, there was no pressure on the amount to spend. It was just,
okay,
let's do this. This will be fun. To the point where I had no choice. But it was fun. Yeah. So Nicky Butt, Jamie Curtin.
Oh my God, Jamie Curtin, QPR legend. Wow.
Jamie Curtin. And you'd be proud of me because everyone's like, who is that?
So there were lots of like small Rory types. Just Jamie Curtin's like a little Rory, isn't he?
Yeah, he was a bit bigger than Rory, but he wasn't. He's not a giant.
No.
But everyone was also going, who is that? We recognise him. And I just went, it just fell out my mouth. I went, Jamie Curtin. And I went, yeah.
How did you get that?
I don't know.
Where have you got that from?
It just
Reading.
I just remembered it. I knew it was. And then there was a couple more. There was a big geezer. None of us could picture. Probably like League Two. And then there was who was the last one? Who's the Vaughan? I can't remember his first name. He's playing up front for Everton.
James Vaughan.
James Vaughan, mate. He hasn't aged a single
really?
dot.
Yeah.
He was playing for Tranmere last year. He was scoring goals for Tranmere last year.
Was he? Maybe.
I think he's playing somewhere.
So I would say, what I would say, and there was someone else who looked like Kieran Dyer, but wasn't Kieran Dyer. So I don't know. Right. I couldn't picture him. But what I would say is obviously like
what really happened.
They were really, really, really nice. Like more polite than most people.
Why is Nicky Butt there? Was he into horses or something?
I think the brand associated with it probably has him as an ambassador or something like that.
Okay, all right. So you finished up. How did what were your judgments, I guess, of the influences in the room?
You could separate the influencers from the people that worked for 888. It was like seismic because they got these like lively guys and they're all got their cameras out and they're talking to the cameras and they're talking to each other and having a laugh because they know each other.
Yeah.
So yeah, you could tell the difference. I've got to be honest. I didn't know who they were. So there was the guy Chip or Josh.
Chip. Yeah.
I've seen his face, but I don't know what he does.
Yeah.
So I didn't ask him because that's not
bad, isn't it?
Yeah, it's bad. So, but I'm 40. I'm not his target audience. Anyway, whatever it is, I'm presuming it's something.
He's got a pod with Cal Freezy. I think he used to be a FIFA guy.
All right, he was a really lovely kid. It was nice talking to him.
Well, wasn't he? He's all grown up, and he Thogden in his suit. Bless him.
Yeah, I love Thogden. I really do. Had a good old chat again. Mate, that kid loved football so much, right? He came to Cheltenham, had a few beers, played some bets. He left Cheltenham, went to the airport, and flew to Turkey to watch Galatasaray play whoever they're playing.
Yeah.
Barcelona. That's what he did.
That's mad. Interesting comment
here. I said you're insane.
I Test Merchant. He gives a super chat first of all saying, "James, did you see Lamps break his hand celebrating?" No, I was watching the West Ham game. But I've seen what's happened. You've also said, James, you kind of look like Chris MD. I'm older than Chris MD, so Chris MD looks like me.
Indeed.
Did you see any of the football last night?
Yeah.
Which game did you watch?
I watched Everton score the goal. I didn't watch it. I didn't watch any.
Be honest.
I know that Everton won, and I know that West Ham won. Everton scored in the last. I mean, it doesn't matter. It's not a test on how much I know about these games. What do you want to talk about?
You're turning it into a test. You could have just said no, and then you let me talk for once.
Go.
No, it's fine. But yeah, so the lamps thing. I haven't seen him break his hand, but have you seen all the stuff on Twitter about? Well, not on Twitter. There was a protest, wasn't there? With so basically, this dude who went on he was on the pitch at Anfield yesterday, 2 days ago, and now he's let me find this. What is it? Protester. He basically put his neck. Here he is. Bizarre. He put this. What's it called? What's that called? This cutting.
Oh, I saw that. I wonder what it was. I saw this picture of
Yeah.
What was that?
Just stop oil. Just stop oil. Do you know what I find what was funny was so obviously.
How did he get it?
I don't know, but I my concern would be that is this lad all right? Do you know what I mean? Like, is he?
What do you mean? You mean is he
mentally?
No, he's making a protest. He's making a protest.
Okay.
Like, what better way to do it?
Yep. Oh, here he is.
Not that
poster reveals he got heroes welcome in jail. Okay. Oh, he's not messing about then. Fair enough. He's a professional.
Is that what you thought?
He's a professional protester.
You thought he was mentally challenged.
Not mentally challenged. Just like, is he all right?
He's I mean, yeah. I mean, it's good to care about his welfare and stuff like that. But it's like this. Was it Project? No, what's it called? Rebellics. No, what's the fuck? What are they all chaining themselves up for on the road?
Something rebellious.
Insulate Britain. So the problem is this Insulate Britain?
Well, hang on. Let's click on it.
He says stop the oil. So the problem is they've all got their own little niches, haven't they? They've got their own little things they're concerned with, and it dilutes
together.
You got to club together under one banner, otherwise you're wasting your time. You're pissing in the wind, boy.
Yeah. It was held up for 7 minutes when a protester attached himself to a post by wrapping what appeared to be a cable tie around his neck. The man who was wearing a T-shirt supporting a group called Just Stop Oil. The best thing about this, though, was Joe, this gif. This guy trying to cut it off.
It's plastic.
Yeah, they had about 6 people, Joe, and I think Carragher tweeted about it as well, and just a screenshot of the bloke's face. I think he's changed his profile picture to it. He's changed his profile picture to it. Yeah, it's God bless him.
Look, I'm on. What was he using? A pair of fucking butter knife? Why? It's plastic.
Sorry, guys.
It's plastic.
He seemed. So I was watching the West Ham game, which was amazing, and I saw all this stuff going on, and I saw that, and I remember thinking to myself, I never thought I'd see that. I don't know what that is, but I never thought I'd see it with this bloke. You know the 2 guys with just really calm faces.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Is they look so calm.
Yeah,
looks
a bit
so
like
relaxed.
Jamie Carragher, actually.
Yeah, it could be Jamie Carragher's dad.
So yeah, bless him. But he created the injury time that allowed Iwobi to get the victory for them, which is huge for them because it gives him a bit of a buffer. Does give him a bit of a buffer now. They've got games in hand as well. Suddenly
the tables turned, don't they? Imagine, like, football. Bizarre, right? We spend so much time watching it. We understand the ebb and flow of the game. We understand that the ebb and flow is actually what's most beautiful about it. That there isn't any eternal winners. Every dog has his day, and a single game can turn a season around. And we know all this stuff, James, because we watched a lot of football in our day, haven't we?
Too much.
Exactly. So
increasingly less and less for yourself.
Yeah. We've watched so much of it, right? So we know one result doesn't really mean anything, but yet one result can change the entire mood of a football club.
Yeah, totally. It's the incomplete,
one goal, one move.
The atmosphere, one little, like, someone saying, I saw the goal and they were like, some class play from Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Iwobi. Iwobi beat a man, he played it into Calvert-Lewin. Calvert-Lewin couldn't totally control it, so laid it off, and Iwobi put it in the corner. Fine. I wouldn't say it was the next level stuff. But they did have 10 men, to be fair to them. So
yeah, mate, that moment when the reason why Lampard broke his hand, because when that moment and that's this is another thing what's great about football is it doesn't matter where you are in the league, you can have these moments in football that Everton fans had yesterday, and we all know what that feels like when Iwobi struck that ball and it went past the feeling is unparalleled. It's amazing. It's a shame there wasn't a VAR call to ruin it all.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there nearly was. The
Right,
sending off of Alan was that. So he broke his hand in the celebration.
No, it's a real shame that they didn't pull it all back in the 99th minute to just check that everything was completely correct before allowing Everton to celebrate us.
We can go and
it's a shame that
trial
didn't happen because obviously we need everything.
Because nowadays it's trial by co-commentator, where it's like, so goal's been scored. Okay, well, you watch the replay. Well, that's good. That's fine. I saw McManaman did it for the first goal against. Oh no, for the winner against Seville yesterday. He goes, well, that's not offside, and that's not a foul, and that's not a foul, and that's not offside. It's a goal. It's pathetic.
Oh man, shit, absolute dog shit.
So Everton are safe now, which is good for them. What a result. I mean, I still got them going down. I still have got them going down because they had to win that game. They literally had to win that game. I'm intrigued to see how Burnley get on. Obviously, it's Burnley or Watford who could sneak themselves out of there, but Watford have played 2 games extra. I still actually, do you know what? It means nothing, really. You still got to get yourself to 33, 34 points minimum to keep yourselves up.
They've got United next, Burnley. City, rather.
So, yeah, but Everton's games from here in are grim. So they had to win one of those. To get 1 point from Wolves and Newcastle at home would have been very, very tricky. Let's have a look at their fixtures.
They need 3 wins, Everton. 3 or 4 wins. They can get that, though.
They can, and it will be that home form. But so they've got... So still got to have Palace and Watford to play. But West Ham, Burnley, away. It's winnable.
That's 6.
United, Leicester, Liverpool, Chelsea. They got Leicester twice.
Leicester a toilet. So they're just phoning in their games now.
Yeah, you never know. They might be all right. Somehow that doesn't look as bad now. Now that Brentford are pretty much safe. Arsenal last day of the season. That looked a lot worse a couple of days ago. Interesting. Funny how it changes.
Indeed.
Should we have a look at the top as well whilst we're doing football chat? Because Spurs are starting to win a few games. Are you still in it? You are still in it, aren't you?
How we're 3 points behind Arsenal, but they've got a game in hand. And we play Arsenal. And Arsenal. What do you see Arteta moaning about how their fixtures have been piled up so that they've got some difficult games to play in a row?
No. Well, are they thinking of walking away again?
I've retweeted it.
You've retweeted it?
It's like a retweet. Obviously, it was pathetic. I don't know if you can play it. Can you play press conferences?
Probably not.
Okay.
What's he saying?
He says, BT, I'll read it out to you. He says, thank you so much to the Premier League for doing that, and they'll do it again when we have to play Chelsea and then Manchester United. So if they want to give them an advantage, I say thank you so much for doing that. Thank you so much to the Premier League for putting the fixtures like this. Very helpful. It's BT, it's Sky, it's this, it's that, but the ones who are affected are Arsenal. And the only thing that I care about and we care about is Arsenal, and for Arsenal, that's not fair. This is a man who by his own inadequacy or by clandestine activity, couldn't fulfill a fixture against Tottenham Hotspur. This is a man who did not complain when they've had 10 really kind fixtures in a row, if you like it like that. But the minute they have to play Liverpool and Man United together, the world's against them. He's a joke.
Are they within? And what? It's just like Wednesday, Saturday, Sunday.
He's played 1 game a week for the entire season, practically.
Yeah.
What a weasel.
That is a bit naughty, and especially do you think
he just keeps.
If Klopp gets, if they get Man City in the draw today, and they go, this is unacceptable. We've got to play.
Yeah.
We've got to play Man City, and then we've got to play Man City again.
I
And
just,
then
it
we've got to
just,
play
it
the week
just
after.
stink. Don't you think it just stinks of a man who's just scared and afraid of everything? Like, oh God, we've got a North London derby coming up. Oh, I don't really want to do it. I'm a bit scared about it. So let's just pretend.
It's like that.
Yeah, let's use a global pandemic to get out of this game because they're too afraid to play a North London derby.
It's a
Oh, we've
little
got to
bit.
play.
The way
We've
you
got to play
frame
Liverpool.
it, you frame it very well. You do frame it very well. The way
We've got to play Liverpool and Manchester United. Manchester United, by the way, who are not even in the top four. We've got to play Liverpool and Manchester United. Oh, I don't like. I'm scared. Let's blame the Premier League. Scared of everything.
Yeah, well,
Arsenal Football Club, scared of everything.
Yeah, let's hope Everton don't go on a good run because they've got to play them last game of the season. They'll have to change that.
What's the Latin for scared of everything? That's what they should have under their crest.
Let us know, guys. Let us know in the chat. Yeah, yeah, that is a bit like you're in a good place. You're in a good moment.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
Have you noticed that recently? Now everyone's you're either in a good moment or a bad moment. It's a moment.
Yeah.
That's
Terroribus
Spanish
ab
translation.
omnibus.
There you go.
Terroribus ab on the scared of everything.
Terramis EastEnders omnibus. Let's go to some comments then. Do you think you actually last thing? Do you think you'll nick it? Do you think you'll nick it? You couldn't nick it, could you? Fourth spot.
Sorry, it's not United. It's someone else. Someone's just corrected me. So that nothing to do with his rant. I've got a slight fact wrong, and I'm the problem.
All right, so it's not true.
No, it's true. It's just it wasn't Man United they're playing. They're playing someone else.
Oh, okay. Yeah, do you think you can nick it? 48 points, 51. You've got.
There's enough points. Yeah, there's enough points. I would say that.
I will play.
We'll play. We'll play. We'll fulfill the fixtures. Unlike Arsenal, we'll fulfill the fixtures. No, but look. All I can go by was what has happened under Conte so far, and you just don't know what's going to come. You don't know who's going to turn up or how likely it is that we're going to win. So I don't think we'll be able to put enough games together in a run based on what I've seen so far to do it. And the squad is we're a couple of injuries away from us not being very ineffectual. We lose anyone.
Injuries.
I know you've got a bad one.
Fucking hell. I mean, we're just.
What do you mean? What you said earlier?
We are finished. Like Rangers are finished. It's over. So our
what's the
number one
goalkeeper
goalie is
situation?
Seny Dieng, right? Injured, out for weeks. Our number 2 goalie, halfway through the game yesterday, pulled his hamstring.
Oh.
Yeah. Our number 3, that goalkeeper, David Marshall, only came in because our normal number 2 from the start of the season dislocated his shoulder. So
Can I ask?
Only got children.
David Marshall he's played at top level, hasn't he?
Oh, big time. He's Scotland's number 1 in my eyes.
Who's he played for?
He was at Derby and places like that. We've got Peterborough at the weekend. And
is he fit though, David Marshall?
No, that's what I mean. So we've basically got children like that. They texted me and said, "Do you want to go and go?" I was like, "I'm a bit small."
Yeah, but you're not a child. What about Jordan Archer? Is he not playing for you anymore?
He's dislocated his shoulder. That's why I brought in David Marshall. So we are.
So you've lost David Marshall, Jordan Archer, and Seny Dieng.
And Lyndon Dykes has been out for over a month.
No, but I'm fascinated by your goalkeeper situation. So Seny Dieng you brought in. David Marshall was to cover for Jordan Archer. Is that right?
Yeah.
And Jordan Archer is also injured.
Yeah, that's why David Marshall came in.
And do you know the name of your goalkeeper who's playing?
We got some bloke called Joe Welsh, and then I've never heard of the other guy because he's a child. But apparently we're going to get Kieran. We might get Kieran Westwood in on emergency loan.
That's bollocks. You shouldn't have an emergency loan. Play the kids.
Don't do that. Oh look, there
Play
you
the
go.
kids.
It's unfair. Can't show you that. Get Paddy Kenny back. That's the option. I don't know. But yeah, it was horrible. It was horrible at the weekend. We were like, just sort of had a good first half. Got 1-0 up against one of the most informed teams in the league in Nottingham Forest. Yeah. And then we just melted away.
What was the final score?
By the end of it, we had Lee Wallace in goal, our left back. We had 10 men because we'd done our subs. We lost 3-1 in the end. But like the last, I think the last goal, certainly David Marshall didn't even dive because he couldn't dive. Grim. So season's over, which is annoying. Unless we beat Peterborough. Unless we beat Peterborough, you never know. But the games we've got left is going to be very difficult. Big Nige, that's a good shout. Can we get Big Nige involved? Nigel Martin's son watching right now. He's made a very smart comment of saying, "Stop right there. Have you hit the like button?" Could everyone hit the like button? That would be massively appreciated, by the way. I'm going to be doing Champions League live reaction off this, by the way. Yeah, maybe Nige would be great. We've got some comments on Nige, actually. Let's dive into these comments. Oh, just thinking about QPR makes you upset.
Well, Jim, just before we go on, you, this is the start of something, Jim. This isn't the something.
But I want
this
it
is the
now!
start. You can't have it now. Sometimes you just got to wait. But you think with some good transfers in the summer, you've got the crux of a very good side. Injuries coming back. Warburton is the man. You just enjoy it while it's happening.
Do you know what? The bottom line is we haven't got the bodies. The squad's too thin, mate. We've got Lyndon Dykes out for over a month. Charlie Austin's been out. We literally had one striker. Prior to that, we weren't playing a striker. Got to have the bodies. Got to have the bodies. And we didn't have the bodies. And so ultimately, if you get any... You can go up. Of course you can go up. But if you get any injuries, you're just screwed. And that's basically what's happened to us. Oh, well.
Yeah.
Slugs in the wild. Flav. So this is a word of warning for anyone who is thinking of using some of our in-jokes out there in the world. Because you've got to be careful out there. Because it doesn't always translate. Jamie Tanner. These made me laugh out loud as well, so they're also Jim's Big Laugh Awards nominees. Speaking to this girl, and she was talking about how her ex made her sad when he left. Oh. However, she then said that she is moving on. I replied with, "We can only move forwards," then pissed myself laughing. This resulted in her bursting into tears. I comforted her with, "That'll do, pig. That'll do." Things have rapidly deteriorated since this incident. But at least now I can go to my grave knowing that I said, "That'll do, pig," to at least one woman. Love the podcast.
I'm not sure. Again,
got to be careful out there.
That's could that be any more of an in-joke for people that are listening now? You have to go back and listen if you want to find out what that means.
You have to go back.
You got to go back.
You got to put the work in if you want to enjoy that joke.
Just so we can relive it a little bit. Is that was what's I think the "That'll do, pig" obviously comes from Babe the film, but what's the worst thing you can say to your partner sort of post-sexual intercourse? And "That'll do, pig." That'll do was number one. That'll do, pig. That'll do.
So yeah, careful, Jamie. Happened again. Tom Godfrey had a problem as well. So this could be a new bit. Let us know in the comments when you've used Jaff and in jokes out in the wild and how it's gone down. Tom Godfrey, we can only move forward. Last week, I went out with some friends knowing full well that I had left the house in a messy state. My dad got My dad got home from work to find the house looking like a pigsty. That'll do, pig. While I was out, I received an angry phone call. "Tom, you've left the house in a state. I'm sick and tired of you living like a slug. Get yourself back home now and clean up." The words slug and back being used in the same sentence didn't sit right with me.
It's just something about it just didn't sit right.
So I replied saying, "As a slug, I can only move forwards, and therefore I cannot come back to clean it up." I then hung up the phone. I got grounded when I eventually did return to the house, but I did the right thing to stand up for the slugs. I think you did.
Yeah, you did, mate. 100%. Slugs can only move forward.
And final little nominee for the Jim Big Laugh Award was Joachim Sparv. I'll just let everyone read this one. Just made me laugh out loud. "Get rid of those stupid microphones. Need them, Joachim."
You won't be able to hear us, would you?
You're not going to be able to hear us, Joachim. Can someone explain microphones to Joachim?
How they work?
Yeah.
Why you can hear us?
Yeah, because or maybe he just wants to see us.
Do you think it's about that he thinks that they're excessive? Do you think that that's like
it's a bit too chunky or something?
Or maybe he thinks like we don't deserve proper microphones. Like maybe he thinks that we didn't pay our own money to buy them, and invest in something.
I don't know. I mean, joke him if you are watching. If you could explain.
Yeah, just explain where your annoyance is coming from. That would be great.
Yeah, I don't want to jump on it, but if you just tell us where you're coming from, that'd be great.
Yeah, that'd be fantastic. I'm curious, if anything.
yeah. Comments of the week. Watching this while watching the QPR game. QPR just scored their second right after James said he wouldn't apologise for the video. Maybe him doubting himself and his team was the jinx.
No.
I mean, I'm not jinxing the team. It doesn't work like that. They'd be jinxing themselves.
There's no such thing as jinxes.
No. Jinxes for weirdo. And Tom, I'm going to read out your comment here, mate. Was watching the PSG game with my dad, and he was also concerned about Michael Owen's hair and attire. We were talking about that last week. I don't know if you remember that. He looked like he was like going to his 16-year-old going to a prom. You know, when you're like, this is going to be the first time I'm wearing a suit, so I really want to like jazz it up somehow. And that's what Michael Owen was trying to do. It just didn't match.
It was always a bit of a helm, though, isn't he? Just there's some people who are just a bit of a helm.
Yeah, he's got sort of a whiff of the helm.
It's just he's got a slight. It's just a whiff. I'd say like a stench of helmet.
Do you think? I always wonder when the pundits find out who the other pundit is. You know, because you basically have like Rio's always there, or Alan's always there, or whoever it might be, and then there'll be like the one guy who's like the different kind of voice this week. And I wonder if BT that when they find out it's Michael, or either way, I think Michael or Paul Scholes, Rio and Owen Hargreaves probably look at each other and go, "Yeah, okay, yeah, great." And they're saying great because he's a legend, but they are a bit helmety. Anyway, so Nigel Martin said, things I thought I'd never say. He looks like he's trying too hard to stay young. And he also said that Steve McManaman looked like he'd been in a wind tunnel. Some solid roast there from Big Nige. And this is why I put this in. Tom, like your comment, that's fine. But what I liked was the comments, which said classic. And then Joe went, "That's so Nige." I like the idea of that is so Nige. What sort of stuff? What other stuff Nige would be doing? That's just so Nige. Nige, I think Nige likes a bit of straw in his mouth. Do you know what I mean? All the time. As a Bristolian. And he's got like a little, like, like cigar cases. He's got like a straw case. It's just his favourite bits of straw that he sometimes chew on. Often over a lovely, luscious sunset.
He's got huge legs.
As it his legs have just got bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Quotes of the week. Dean Carr. Shagging and exhaust is not on. Flav Bateman, 2022. That's a fair point. Have you watched anything weird this week?
What do you mean weird?
I don't know, like shark stuff or.
It's not watching documentaries about sharks is not weird. I get the old sort of it must be about like there's a sexual element. There isn't, right? I shouldn't have to underline that there isn't a sexual element to me. I'm interested in sharks. Don't do that. If you're not going to say anything, don't say anything. Don't make a noise like that. You know what that means. You know what making. Now you're making me protest too much. Now it makes it look like I'm covering up. Like I'm protesting too much. Now I'm thinking, do I have a thing about sharks? Maybe something. That's what gaslighting does, Jim.
Are there any animals it'd be okay to have a sexual fetish with?
No, it's called bestiality and it's illegal for a very good reason.
Just wanted to tidy that up. Just wanted to clear that up.
No, I haven't. I'm trying. I won't scale back my interest in sharks.
Adoration,
because
I'd say.
I don't admire sharks.
Adore them.
I'm interested in them, and you should be too. The fact that you're not. In fact, there are monsters, real life monsters that exist on our planet in our seas, and that doesn't interest you. Says more about you than it does about me.
Okay. Revolution Robin says, "Them fins though." What about a sexy slug? Probably not. We're on the Patreon mailbag this week. We had to watch two slugs having sex, and it was absolutely disgusting.
It was, if we broke.
Easy Ollie. Sharks are more attractive than car exhaust, in my opinion. Perfect delivery. Deserve more of a laugh. That's from Flav. Oh well. New rules. We so we kind of we're just looking to mould and make the game a better place. What's your latest? Where are you at with the Chelsea stuff, by the way? Do you know what's annoying me a little bit? Is that so many people want to buy them.
Of course.
I know, of course, but like, I'm just like, I know that if it was like, oh, QPR needs to get bought quick, it would be like, there might be one guy somewhere, whereas Chelsea, they're literally like lining up for a ticket.
Not only they're lining up, they don't have to barter with someone who's invested in it. Like buying Tottenham off of Daniel Levy is much more difficult than buying and more expensive than buying Tottenham off of the government or someone who doesn't care about Tottenham. Right. So buyers. I mean, not that they won't have to pay the market rate. They may. What was it that did he want 2.7 billion for Chelsea initially? That might be including the profit, any profit, or what he might be having like an Abramovich tax there, where this is the amount of money that I think I deserve, as well as whatever it might be. Like if ENIC were selling Tottenham, they wouldn't just want what the company's worth in real terms. They would want an additional amount, as much money as they can to sort of, get as much, to make as much money out as possible. So there's a great opportunity with someone with lots of money to get Chelsea probably at market value as opposed to in excess of market value.
Yeah.
And why wouldn't there be? There's tons of people with so much money to spend that there are other reasons why they want to buy a football club. And herein lies the problem, is that if the government are selling, surely they can't sell to another problematic buyer. It's so tricky because that same buyer will just say, well, we're not a part of the Saudi Arabian government. Nothing to do with us. We're not a part of X, Y, and Z. They can dress it up, and they may not be. I would imagine it's very difficult to find out the true origins of the money and stuff. But fundamentally, any money that buys a Premier League football club, certainly one that the government's involved in selling, needs to be a rigorous investigation into where that money came from. How was it raised? And
why are they being chosen? Like, as in, like, because say you've got 4 legitimate options that are clean, for want of a better word. You then do have to make a choice, and someone has to make that choice. And how independent is that choice? Do you know what I mean? Like, you would imagine normally in a sale, you give me money, I give you club. So it's like, well, I'm going to choose you because you're the highest bidder. Whereas when you take away the owner who would do that, you're then left with the government, and the government can't be taking any kind of like benefits from this in any way, shape or form, but at the same time have to do due diligence to the club to make sure that they get the most impressive owner available to keep the fans happy, blah, 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 whilst also it's very, very awkward, isn't it? Like, who makes the final call? Like, who?
Whatever minister's in charge of making sure this happens.
Nadine Dorries. Is it going to be Nadine?
I don't know.
Imagine that. Well, what do you think, Boris? She'd probably say.
Well, there'd probably be an argument here that if the most vast amounts of the wealth in Saudi Arabia is oil, right? I don't think that's a broad stroke. I think that's the fact. So if the oil comes out of the ground and is owned by the state, then you would say pretty much, this company isn't a state. If they can look at the money and check that there is no political motive to owning Chelsea. I don't know, man. It's whatever happens.
Apparently, Rain Group's making the decision.
Right. Okay. Apart from Chelsea, they were never really going to come out of this too fiercely. What's the word? Basically, the Chelsea fans don't have anything to worry about, do they? apart from
No, absolutely
you know,
nothing. Absolutely nothing. They're still ginormous. They've kind of the fact that, like, you know, all of the money that was pumped in that allowed them to become the huge club they are now will continue. Like, it's too late. They jumped from one boat to another boat. They're now a big boat.
All I would say is that
So they're fine.
that you know, Abramovich was a one of a kind of guy, and if it's sort of like Candy, you know, is it Candy you come in? Candy,
Yeah, it's like Candy. Yeah,
it's just wondered like how if it's someone like that, like or like the people that run Liverpool, where they have a particular business model, and it isn't just a sort of sugar daddy like Roman Abramovich or the Saudis.
What makes you a sugar daddy?
In real terms,
Yeah, what's
real
the
life,
definition of a sugar daddy?
it's just when you pay for younger, prettier girls' lifestyle in exchange for blowjobs.
Okay, I just want to drill down on that if we could.
Okay.
A rich older man who lavishes gifts on a young woman in return for her company or sexual favors.
Yeah, there you go.
Or sexual favors. Is that what Roman is?
All right, mate. Wrong analogy.
You graduate into a sugar daddy, do you not? Because
no,
you can't
you
be a
find
sugar,
young.
You can't be at 35. You can't be a sugar daddy, can you?
No, no. I suppose at 40 you could if you were interested in. You know, it's a bit odd, isn't it? Anyway, like a 40-year-old interested in a 20-year-old. Have you had a conversation with a 20-year-old girl recently? There's such a seismic shift between the mental place.
Recently. Back in the day, their discourse was lovely. Now,
yeah, well, that was it.
Now 20-year-olds can't talk anymore. It's a shame.
But what I'm saying is that there may be business models in these companies that are taken over that is a little bit more pragmatic than what Abramovich or Sheikh Mansour has done, or what's happening at Newcastle, where they are pumping. They will always find ways of throwing money at the situation. Whereas FSG has been much more holistic and slow paced, and sort of measured rise to the top, which is why it's always more impressive. You know, we say whatever you like about Liverpool, but what they've done is much, much, much more impressive than what Manchester City has done and what Chelsea have done. It is. It just is. I don't think it can be denied, really.
This is just a question, right? And I'm sure it's offensive. But
wow, we're live. You know, we're live.
Yeah, but it's more through. Is there something bad about the fact that all the owners of these clubs aren't British?
Why
should that matter?
To who?
I don't know.
Fucking Enoch Powell over here.
Yes. But no,
I want a good fucking English manager. I don't want all these fucking foreign twats managing my country. Do I? I don't want these foreign owners in my fucking football clubs.
But can you retain the identity of the football if they're all bloody American? Okay? I thought it was a
do you know? Like there was a genuine conversation. Yeah, no, I do what you mean. I do know what you mean. I think fan culture is ultimately, fundamentally what maintains the traditionalisms of the game in Britain, right? So I think that fundamentally is where it comes from, and owners don't really have much bearing in it. If it gets the support of the supporters, then generally it's okay. But there were conversations in the 2000s, advent of the Premier League, where there was an influx of foreign players already that had begun before. Actually, no, probably begun. It began in the 90s. Yeah, it began, but it wasn't significant. They even changed the rules at some point where you could only have. Well, actually, the rules back then was that you could only have 3 players outside the EU. I think. Do you remember? Everyone knows this from playing Championship Manager back in the day.
Yeah.
So you could have 3 players that weren't registered in the EU outside. So whenever you signed Taribo West when you were playing in Championship Manager 01 and 02, you knew that was one of your foreign players that you used up. Anyway, they scrapped that so that you could do whatever you want. And I remember there was many conversations saying we're going to lose the British nature of the game because the clubs will be full of players that don't understand how we play football here. That was sort of like an overarching conversation that was been had in things like Match of the Day and newspapers and whatnot.
And we have, because the game's got better, hasn't it?
It's got better, it's faster, it's more technical, you know, and so, and if you remember football in the 80s, it was tough, it was hard, it was they were men first and footballers second.
Oh yeah, the soldiers second, footballers third. I read this thing on Cambridge United, where they went through the leagues, but like even their own fans, like they were like, honestly, it was like the worst football ever. Like it was just hit the corners, and not just like, yeah, when you get it, get your foot on it, you know, look for the corners. Just hit the corners, and like it's not football. Like that wasn't football either. So yeah, I thought I was wrong. Just wanted to check.
What and then the other worry was that.
Could you actually? Can I just? Because with say like I'm sure we've probably got one or two American people watching right now. Get in the chat here, guys. In say NFL or any of your big American sports, if all the owners started to become Chinese owners,
I reckon there would be a bigger issue there over there than it would be here.
Yeah.
Well, only because I feel like they feel like a much more they're more fierce about their sovereignty than perhaps we are. Because
it probably doesn't work as well because football's such a global game, whereas
and also
NFL isn't as much. It's very American.
Yeah, but also they got a thing about Russia and for obvious reasons now, but even before then they got a thing about Russia and a thing about China. China. Do you remember Trump?
China, 200 times saying China.
China. They've got a thing about it.
That was a bad dream, wasn't it, Trump? Was that just a bad dream? That actually happened?
Yeah, it happened.
That's bizarre.
Whatever. I don't know. I'm not sure we can do politics. But what I'm saying is that there was also a worry back then that the England team would be affected. And yet, we have the current clutch of players is probably the best I've seen ever.
Thanks to the Chelsea Academy. 3 cheers for the Chelsea Academy.
Yeah.
United People's TV. So for those of you who don't know, that's where Samisms were created. Sam is, I don't know if he's gone away now because he didn't get the attention he wanted when he put his little comment in. But he has said, has your relationship with Flav soured now he's a full-time influencer? We seem to be doing all right.
I wasn't there doing any influencing. I didn't do anything. I didn't tweet. I was just there drinking.
That's exactly what influencers say. They don't even realise. You're such an influencer, you don't even know you're influencing these days.
True, mate. It's true.
Simon with the super chat. Thoughts on if... get your questions in now, because we've got 1 or 2 comments and that's about it. Still got 10 minutes to fill. Simon says, thoughts on if Millwall snuck up. If Millwall went up to the Prem... I'd quite like to see it, to be honest. I think it'd be not hilarious. It would be eye-opening. Let's put it that way. I think I really like Millwall away. I've always enjoyed it, as we've discussed on the pod previously.
And I grabbed him by his fucking throat.
Merry Christmas, everyone. Ooh, hats off to you. And as I walk through, Merry Christmas to you as well, Sharon. Keep him walking past, make him way to the ground. And then I grabbed him by his throat. That is Millwall way.
My memory of Millwall is Spurs playing them in the FA Cup the other day. About 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago.
Right.
And there's 2 Spurs fans absolutely paralytic drunk. And the Millwall fans are walking down Tottenham High Road, and these 2 Spurs fans going, Millwall, you fucking shit. Yeah, fuck you, a fucking Millwall. And this geezer, he's just I've watched this video about 400 times. You just see this geezer move, and he's looking, and you just see he come out of nowhere and just goes bang on one of them. He just drops like the word. I can't say what Trey said. That's probably insensitive. Drops.
Yeah.
Finished. And that's what you get if you start. You like give it by all means, but someone's going to check you one day. And
but not at Millwall. Give it.
No,
it by all means, give it large, but not at Millwall.
So stupid. Like you're surrounded by about 500 of them. There's at least 50% of that fan base that would happily hit a man in the face.
Yeah, yeah.
So you're playing with fire.
A third of them have killed a man.
They would.
Throwback, man.
They would absolutely imagine them.
I think we've spoken about this a little bit. Actually, here's a bit.
Are they good? Are they Millwall good then? Should we be worried?
They're on a very, very good run. They are on a good run. They beat.
Who's their manager? I know it is
Gary Rowett.
Gary, mate, just give Rowett the job. He'll get you up.
Yeah, maybe. We were linked with him at one point. Here's
football,
a bit. I think we spoke about this a few weeks ago. Quite a while ago actually, maybe. I went to a Brentford game, and I swear, whenever I go to a Brentford game, they're all slim with dark hair.
What you mean? All their fans?
Yeah, they're all slim, dark hair. And Dom, my mate Dom, went to. He lives around the corner from Brentford, but he's close to QPR, and he had nothing to do. And I was like, "Oh, I can't go to the game today. Do you want my ticket?" So I took my ticket, and he went. And he messaged me. And he went, "Yeah, you're right. Your lot are fatter than ours." But with Millwall fans have a look. Essentially, it's flat caps and a sort of demonic eye. They have as well.
So are we? I don't know where this is going.
So basically, describe the look of your fan base.
Yeah,
that's what I would like to see. Because another one, watching the West Ham game last night, I'm getting really sucked into their European journey. Europa League's where it's at. I'm telling you, because they all the teams that are in it. They're excited and they want to win it. And it's like, oh my God, we beat Borussia Dortmund if you're Rangers. Oh my God, we beat Sevilla. You can see the atmosphere is amazing. But anyway, we can come back to that. But but when it then goes at the end, we go, oh, I'm forever blowing bubbles. They've all got undercuts, haven't they? All of them. All West Ham. The undercut is the West Ham fans' haircut of choice. They love it. They absolutely. There's a definitely Essexy look of from the West Ham fans. So yeah, I'd love.
We need.
What do you say with Spurs fans? What do Spurs fans?
I'm just trying to think. It's a bit of a melting pot, really. That I would say the vast majority of them are like the kind of certain ones that go to the games. There'd be like between 40 and 50, drive a black cab, but like getting dressed up on a Friday night when they take Cheryl down the disco. That kind of, that kind of, and the younger lot, your typical sort of, they all come in for Essex anyway. Like no one who goes to the games typically lives in Tottenham, so they're
Spurs
all like
fans and West Ham's look quite similar. Do you think?
I would say they're probably comparable.
Extreme. They're a bit more like extreme in terms of like the, I know, like the jeans being a bit tighter.
Yeah, all our fans are kind of from the home counties and like moved out to sort of Middlesex that way. That's it. So it's basically working class whites.
So Scottish Tarkle, who's been tweeting me whilst Rangers have been going on their journey, and I'm starting to not reply because I don't want to spoil it. I'm scared of saying something and the dream ending. But he believes something's happening here with Rangers this year. He says Rangers fans are very bored and on the larger side. United fans have fringes and have that Manchester look. Need a bit more specificity than that. But yeah, that Man United fans do Man United fans have fringes and West Ham fans have centre partings. Maybe that's it.
Yeah.
Who knows? Oh yeah, last couple of comments then, because Champions League draw. Excited for that, Flav? Buzzing for that?
Yeah.
Be you next year, isn't it?
Maybe. Maybe not.
Oh yeah, so we're doing new rules. So quickly, I'll just read this one out because you were talking about the draft system. I just thought this was interesting.
JaackMaate.
Yeah. American Slug here. In the NFL, there are always teams around mid-season or even earlier who realise they won't make anything of the season that decide to tank the rest of the season for the best possible draft pick. It was even reported that Miami was paying their head coach a bonus for each loss they got. In general, trying to improve football by following a more American model is a big step in the wrong direction, as our leagues often feel disingenuous. Interesting, isn't it?
That is interesting.
Yeah, we don't want that. We don't want that. Just playoffs everywhere. I think playoffs are so great.
Well, what you do with that is you add the risk of relegation. So how do you balance it? Well, we want to be shit, but we don't want to be too shit. And then obviously with football, the football is that once
you're on relegation, do you in American sport? You're right.
No, that's right. So when you're on a downward momentum, it's hard to get out of in football, no matter how good you are. So I don't know, but yeah, he makes a good point. Like, becomes nil and void. Don't they sort of? I don't know what the system is, but then they go on to playoffs at some stage, don't they? So that the league becomes redundant.
But it's like first place 8th, second place 7th. It's like that. So what you kind of want to be higher to get a lesser side sometimes. Where are we? Unwritten rules. That's some. As we know, we've had a interesting journey with unwritten rules. Stoko Pops. This is good though. The corner roar of false hope. Hi lads, just checking in. My unwritten rule occurs in every game that has a scoreline of 2-0 at some point. No matter how bad a team has played, if they are 2-0 down and get a corner, it's an unwritten rule that everyone supporting the team losing must release a roar of "Come on!" It's as though the previous 80 minutes of your team being so poor are all forgotten, and that this new journey forward into the opposition half has somehow signified that you do, in fact, have a chance of rescuing something from the game. Do you know who Stoker Pops supports?
No.
Birmingham City. And I think that's why he said 2-0 down. Because I think the come on works at any time, really, when you need a goal.
No, but he's right about the... when you need a goal towards the end and you have a glimmer of opportunity that the volume is ramped up somewhat.
Did you see the goal? Go on. Did you see that in the Leeds game?
I saw something on Twitter. I didn't click the video. I think I know what you're talking about, though. So when the collective, go on!
Yeah,
and then he goes, yeah!
The Leeds Norwich game. And when they won in the last minute as well. I can't find it now. But they went, yeah. You can hear it in the video. You can hear the whole home side. Because I think Gelhardt flicks it on. And then you hear a, go on! And then it carries on and then they get the goal.
Yeah.
Fucking amazing. Nothing like that. Right. Champions League reaction coming up.
Crack on, Jim.
Very, very soon. We're back next week. If you want to become a patron, links in the description. We do a mailbag each week. Had a juicy one this week, didn't we, actually? Oh, sorry about the cough. You want to say anything, Flav?
No, love you all. Thanks for watching. And apologise if I've upset anyone.
Have you?
I don't know. But maybe.
Always good to say. Always good to say.
Always good. Just cover your bases.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, me too. Sorry if I got a bit Brexity there. We're just having a conversation.